Welcome to the first episode of Down with Daughty for 2024. We are so excited to be back in action, and I am most excited to be joined today by our Executive Director, Miss Julie Pickens. Hello, Miss Julie.
Hello, Ida. How are you doing?
I'm well, thanks for asking. So welcome to Down with Daughty.
Thank you. I've been looking forward to this for a while.
Yes, we have. We've been trying to get this scheduled since December, but I'm glad that you are my first one to kick off the 2024 year with, and I'm sure our viewers are going to be pleased to get to know you a little better and get to know what's going on with Child Advocacy Services of Southeast Georgia. And we do have a lot going on at this point.
Absolutely.
We have our 6th annual SEGA Golf Tournament coming up on March 22nd at the Georgia Southern Golf Club. And we would love everyone to come out and support us and kind of tell them what ways they can support us, Julie.
So you can support us absolutely by forming a team of 4 to come golf with us if you have some friends you want to golf with. If you want to golf just yourself, we can help put you on a team. So that's very exciting. You can also, businesses and even individuals can sponsor holes or tees to help sponsor. We also have full sponsor packets if an organization is looking for a little bit larger of a donation. And of course, we always welcome volunteers to come out and help us out.
Absolutely, absolutely. So contact us if you are wanting to participate. You can visit our website. It is casaogeechee.org for more information. So please, we want to know, Julie, how did you become involved with Child Advocacy Services of Southeast Georgia?
So like many people, my introduction to Child Advocacy Services was through CASA. You know, we were originally CASA, and so we're oftentimes still referred to as CASA, even though we do have 3 very distinct and wonderful programs that we have. But my introduction came through CASA when I was doing my doctoral work in Illinois. I had a friend who became a CASA volunteer, and that was really my first introduction to it. She did some research around it too, and really made a difference because I wasn't sure that there was a match there. And then when I came down here, I found out more about the CASA program here and was very excited by it, and really wanted to work with some of the older youth because I did know that that's an area of specialty for me, and it's definitely an area of need.
Yes.
Older children in foster care, as we all know, have not the best outcomes and not the desired outcomes for an enviable life that we would ideally want for them. So I became a CASA volunteer and went through the in-person training and have a wonderful young man that I still serve as CASA for, even though I am working here as the executive director as well.
Well, that is just most interesting. So you started off as a volunteer.
I did.
And yeah.
And I find like that's almost everyone's path here at CASA and at Child Advocacy Services. They either start as a volunteer or an intern or both, and then come on up. And I think that's one of the great things about the organization is that we are able to cultivate the talent and wonderful resources that we have from within to make the organization better in all aspects.
Yes, I would definitely agree with that. As we know, our most notable intern is Miss Kristen Kramer, who started off as intern. We started on the same day 8 years ago, and she's now our Director of Business Operations. So we definitely have a love for our interns and everyone, volunteers included. So since you became the director here, how has Child Advocacy Services evolved?
So the biggest evolution, I would say, is the addition of another program, you know, our Prevent Child Abuse Ogeechee, to look at providing services and supports and education to help prevent child abuse ultimately, because as much as I love the work that we do as Child Advocacy Services for on the CASA side and as well as the OVC side, it would be amazing if, you know, we were someday to be only Prevent Child Abuse Ogeechee, because services weren't needed for supervised visitation for birth parents and birth parents and children, and for CASAs. So
yes, that is exactly the world we envision. one that we do where services are not needed ultimately. I know that would work us out of a job, but that would definitely put families being safe and protected and not being affected by the traumas. So that's hopefully what we will be able to report one day soon. Um, so you mentioned that we have Child Advocacy has CASA, Court Appointed Special Advocates, as well as PCA, Prevent Child Abuse Ogeechee, and you briefly mentioned supervised visitation.
Yes.
So can you tell me a little more about that program?
Supervised visitation. Yes, we provide supervised visitation through our Ogeechee visitation centers. We have one here in Statesboro, as well as one in Guyton that's in a adorable little house. It really just creates a very home-like environment. But it's a wonderful program, as are all of our programs, which I'll talk about a little bit more in a minute, because it allows children to meet with their birth families, to really regain and sustain that relationship that they have, and kind of assess what the best steps are for the parents and the children as they move forward. And that kind of makes me think we're in the middle of grant season right now, and we are talking about the success stories that we have. And our success stories are typically, oh, this child was reunified with their families, or this kind of things. And this year our success story is a child or children that actually found their forever home after spending more than 3 years in foster care, and used both our CASA services, and were able to have the same CASA the entire time through, which is amazing that they had such a wonderful individual advocating for them, and used our visitation services because, adoption is also a success story, and that's not necessarily something that we always think about, but we often find that when individuals have the complement of all of our services, that, some of the best outcomes can have when they have that great CASA to go in and advocate for the best interest of the child, when they're able to visit with their birth families, in our supervised visitation center, and, if returning with their birth families and their best interests, then they already have that start to, being able to transition back into being home. And, if being back with their birth family is not in the child's best interest and in the family's best interest, a lot of times they're still able to maintain that connection and to foster those relationships so they have good memories of mom and dad, versus some of the things that may have happened before, and they're able to address some of those traumas. And oftentimes I've seen a lot of times those children are still able to have some responsible and boundary driven connections with their biological parents, even as they find their forever home in a adoptive placement.
Well, those sure are great outcomes. And yeah, permanency comes and looks differently for each case. It does. And so that's a great success story. So you did mention grant season. Can you elaborate a little more on that for us?
Sure. So we kind of just jokingly refer to, really from February through April, and sometimes even before that or after that, grant season, when myself and many people within the office spend a lot of time writing the grants to help support us, because one of the great things about our programs is that we are able to offer them free of charge. Parents pay nothing for our visitation. Children pay nothing for their CASA volunteers. So we are supported by grant funding. And this year I think that some of the grant announcements came out a little early, which is awesome because it gives us a little more time to focus on those. And the two that we most recently received the bids for were our United Way grants, our United Way Southeast Georgia grant, as well as our United Way Coastal Empire grant. Both of those are due mid-February, and they are wonderful grants because for a couple of different reasons. One, the two of the larger grants that we use to sustain us and to help provide some of those supports are promoting safe and stable families, which requires a matching fund of 25%. And so we're able to use those funds that we receive from United Way to be able to use some of those matching funds. So every dollar that we receive from the United Way, we're able to actually count as $4, which is fantastic that we're able to do that. And then both United Way Southeast Georgia and United Way Coastal Empire really provide great supports to us and help us connect to the community, which is wonderful, you know, we're able to build upon those services and to get connections with other individuals within the community. I would say every month in both Bullock and in Effingham, you know, there's community events that they're attending. This past Tuesday, I attended the nonprofit lecture series that the United Way SEGA is putting on. This Friday evening or late afternoon, in Springfield, I'm going to be attending the Live Oaks Library community building session. So we're really able to build upon some of those community resources that we have. They help connect us to other programs that benefit our individuals. Many of the individuals that come to us for services and that we provide service to receive services from many different United Way funded organizations, and so it's a great opportunity.
That is good. So it seems like a busy time of the year, but it also gives us an opportunity to connect with resources that can aid our clients as they are working through that process. That is good. So it's like a win-win for us all.
And I think it'll be even more helpful to us. You know, it's helpful now, but as we get Prevent Child Abuse Ogeechee even more up and running, because a big part of that is making those community connections and helping to connect people to resources. So
that is a big piece of it. Yes, I'm ready for that program to get up and running. So you talked a little bit about our funders. What do you think our volunteers and the individuals we serve would say is the best thing about our organization?
I think they would probably say the best thing about our organization is the opportunities and improved quality of life and life outcomes that we provide. And when people hear that, they're probably thinking the improved quality of life for the kids in foster care. But I think the services that we provide improve the quality of life of all those that we provide services to. So it is the kids in care that have the CASA advocates and get to see their families. I've rarely seen parents as joyful as when they're visiting their kids at our OVC centers, because that is 2 hours a week that they are able to interface with their child, that they're able to talk to their child, they're able to build that relationship, which is so awesome. And our CASA volunteers, I think their quality of life is improved, and that their general health and the community's health is improved by the work that they do to address the best interests of the children, and to see some of those outcomes that we were talking about, that there usually are almost no bad outcomes, whether it is adoption, whether it is reunification. We just want good outcomes for everyone, and there always can be good outcomes for every child. There is no child or no individual that's so lost that a good outcome can't come.
Absolutely. Yep. Just giving that hope, and yes, it's just like you said, improving the quality of life of everyone. I think that is a whole holistic picture. I like that. I like that a lot. So with that, what results has our organization achieved since you become director?
So I think that we've been able to expand the services that we provide, both with the creation of Prevent Child Abuse Ogeechee, but then also by making more connections with community members and community partners. I know we serve 4 counties, as many people know, Bullock, Effingham, Scriven, and Jenkins. And, you know, Bullock and Effingham, being the larger counties, did receive a lot of the focus. But one of the things that I'm very proud of, and that I think we've had some good success in, is really trying to spread into Jenkins and Scriven County some more. And so we've had hires on, and, you know, targeting of people's positions, like your position, to specifically target the Effingham and Jenkins County, and to really reach out to those areas. So.
Yeah. Well, and that kind of leads to my next question. So with, you know, us really targeting those 2 counties, what are our goals for our organization for the next 3 to 5 years? Like, what is your vision? And I know you kind of touched on that, but.
Well, I would say the next 3 to 5 years is to, you know, build capacity in the organization and build capacity in the community. And so by doing that, you know, really make those community connections, and really get individuals connected to the resources that they need, both when their children are in foster care and when the kids are in foster care, as well as, before the children even need to come into foster care. So if you ask me what my plans are in the next 5 years, I would say that is to build those community connections and to make it so that they're there and that more people are being supported, more people are being able to live that enviable life. If you take it out 25 years, that's when we would get more to the that we are only Prevent Child Abuse Ogeechee, because abuse and neglect of children has been solved, and
Exactly.
so has lifelong trauma. Everyone's getting the mental health and substance abuse treatments that will be beneficial to them. Everyone's addressing the generational trauma that they've had throughout their lives. But that's not a 5-year goal.
we
25
wish,
year.
yeah, we wish it could be a 5-year goal. Because back again, we would like to reduce the number of children in foster care by Prevent Child Abuse and those programs that we can hopefully begin implementing this year, and to get ahead of the game instead of where we're at now. And it's pretty retroactive. So we want to be more proactive, right? I'm excited. I do hope that we'll be able to do an interview in the next 3 years and at least report some positive outcomes with that. So as the director of this lovely organization, what do you personally spend most of your time on?
I would say as the director, I spend most of my time making sure that we have the resources and that those that we serve have the resources. So looking at that, a lot of that is the grant writing, the grant maintenance, financial or fiscal management, and program management. So I would say I spend most of my time just making sure that the resources are available there. But like I said, the financial resources, also that across both the centers that we have, that there's resources there to provide to children and families that are coming in, and that everyone is kind of taken care of and able to focus it. I would say just, the broad.
Well, I know you're a busy woman. I know that you are, but we do appreciate all that you do here. I do want to say we do work with many great organizations. We partner with them, but for people who are viewing with so many great organizations to support, why should they choose to support our organization?
I would say that they should choose to support our organization because through the 3 programs that we offer, we help to support all of those other organizations and to partner. If we are addressing the abuse and neglect that may be in the trauma that's happening to kids when they are younger, then as they get older and as they progress through, the services that they receive from other organizations have already been buttressed by the supports that we have provided. So,
yeah. I would agree with that as well. We definitely partner well. So I really enjoyed chatting with you, and I would like to ask you one quick fun fact about yourself.
Okay.
So tell us, what is your favorite animal?
My favorite animal is actually an anteater, which is not one that people would typically pick, but it's very resourceful. It is very lovable, even if it might not look lovable and seem lovable. So I would say an anteater.
I like that. It's like, don't judge a book by its cover, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely look into more about anteaters. And I think that this has been a great Down with Daughty talk. And I wanted to again remind everyone about our upcoming golf tournament and look forward to upcoming interviews with remaining staff or our current board members and our current volunteers. We do hope that you join us. Peace.